The Golden Week is a national holiday in China. It kicked off on the 1st of October and it lasts all week. And it's a massive holiday. Shopping is a really important part of that holiday. And today, Chinese luxury consumption represents a third of all luxury consumption worldwide. So it's really important for the luxury market for the whole of Europe and, of course, London in particular.
How does London stay ahead of the rest of Europe when you're trying to lure those Chinese shoppers?
Well, I think London's gone, as you said, London's gone all out, and there have been special efforts made, whether it's in terms of Mandarin signage, helping guide shoppers around the key luxury shopping destinations, or also Mandarin speaking sales staff. So, for example, Selfridges has 40 Mandarin-speaking interpreters in the store, and Harrods has over 100 Mandarin-speakers in the sales staff in the store. So last year in Harrods, the average spend of the Chinese visitor was £3,500 per visit. So obviously those Mandarin-speaking staff have definitely helped to achieve that. And even smaller brands, niche brands like Bremont, the English watchmakers who have a shop on South Audley Street, even they have made sure to have Chinese-speaking staff, especially for this week.
Caroline's been cataloguing all the efforts that have been made by these retailers this morning.
And technology is quite a forefront, isn't it? We've got Harrods employing special WeChat, that's the messaging app,
yes,
particularly for Chinese. How important is it they embrace the technology as well?
Well, I think Harrods has actually been really at the forefront of trying to capitalise on the Chinese market. As you said, they're the first British store to have joined WeChat recently, which is the fastest growing Chinese social network. But in the past, they've actually been known to fly over Chinese celebrities who have many millions of followers on Weibo, which is the Chinese hybrid of Twitter and Facebook, and then treat these celebrities to their VIP red carpet personal shopping experience. And they've also launched the Harrods magazine in Mandarin in the form of an iPad app. So they're very much using all the technologies available.
I was quite amazed to see some statistics you provided to us, Claire. 83% of Chinese luxury shoppers cite shopping as their favourite activity when visiting the UK. I mean, I don't know whether to be heartened or quite dispirited by this. I mean, what are they buying? What has so excited these 83% of Chinese tourists?
Well, in fact, some people say that the Chinese are more attracted in London by shopping than they are by the British royal family. Apparently, when David Cameron recently asked the Chinese ambassador how to attract more Chinese visitors to the UK, the response came, build more Bicester villages where the shoppers can buy luxury at a discount. So I think the favoured items, in fact, the Hurun report, which is a report about the Chinese rich list, showed that the top luxury items that Chinese favoured collecting were watches, jewellery and contemporary art.
Do they buy to collect then? Some of this buying in this week is these symbolic items to collect, or is it the more Bicester Village 50% off a handbag?
Oh, well, it's
definitely both.
It's definitely both, and so other items that are important are obviously luxury shoes, handbags, jewellery, watches, art, fashion. In fact, Jimmy Choo has applied to open a 6-storey store on Bond Street, obviously catering largely to high net worth clients, especially Chinese ones. So.
But Claire, I mean, there's a report out, Les Echos is a French newspaper, citing Angela Arendt, of course, the chief executive of Burberry this morning, saying, look, the Chinese slowdown in sales, in luxury sales in particular, isn't a temporary phenomenon. In fact, this could be more of a new market trend. How worried should we be by the slowdown? You know, they've been trying to rein back all this gift giving and this ostentatious sort of nature going after the luxury goods. Should retailers be worried by that, or is growth still just enough to keep on investing in this way?
Well, as you say, there has been a slowdown in China. Between 2008 and 2012, the growth of the luxury market in China was around 27%. And now McKinsey has said that for the next 3 years it's going to be around 12%. So it's a marked slowdown. And there are two main reasons for that. One is the fact that luxury brands have been expanding at such a high rate that now some parts of the market are saturated. And also also, as you mentioned, the crackdown on gift giving with lavish spending on by government officials. There's been a sort of anti-corruption laws going on. But actually, in London and Europe, the market is really buoyant, and it is actually, I've spoken to a lot of people recently, and the mood is overwhelmingly upbeat. And if there's a period of expansion, you know, many flagship stores are expanding, such as I mentioned, Jimmy Choo, but also Christian Dior, Zegna, Boodles, the British jeweller, is expanding its store. So there's a lot of reason to feel upbeat here in London.
As a mere mortal, Claire, can you give me an idea of what this personal shopping experience is like? Just give me an idea of what it's like if you're a high net worth individual coming from China. What sort of service can you expect if you're in this bracket, sort of personal shopping experience?
Well, I think one of the things that I heard recently is that sales staff have been trained in Chinese etiquette. So, for example, apparently it's the Chinese custom to hand over the credit card with 2 hands, and so sales staff would have been trained to be, you know, that level of sensitivity and that level of respect to cater for that audience, who's used to the best, who's used to commissioning bespoke items at the highest levels, you know, and they may see it might be on different levels. Maybe somebody might see a bag at, you know, something we might consider very expensive in the several £1,000 range, and then just choose it in several colours, you know, just on the spot, or whether it's commissioning very expensive items, bespoke watches, tailoring. So
there you go. You might get a red carpet and your credit card handed back to you with 2 hands.
But you need to buy.
You need to spend
several colours.
Yeah, you need to spend a serious amount of money to qualify.
I think they're going for me.
You're not their target market.
No.